Hello, faith leaders, and welcome to Breaktime. And today's Breaktime we find in Philippians 1:13. It says, "As a result, it has become clear throughout the whole palace guard and to everyone else that I am in chains for Christ." This is another one of these wow passages. I think I'm going to say that about the whole book of Philippians because I'm looking at it and I'm going to teach it as looking at it as Paul as our leader, as our influencer, as the ultimate faith leader. And here he is once again. I want to remind us that he is in prison. He's in chains. He's in shackles. But what did he say about his chains? He says, "I am in chains for Christ." Now, it's interesting to me that he wasn't chained to his persecution. He wasn't chained to his circumstance. He allowed his chains to be what? A place where he was in chains now for Christ. Wouldn't it be awesome as leaders when we are in those difficult situations, those persecutions of life? You know what I'm talking about. Everybody's got one. We talked about this yesterday, and if you didn't get to watch it, I just ask that you go back and look at it, because we're going to be talking about persecution and suffering and trials, and they happen to every one of us. But what if we used those chains as when people saw our terrible situation, that the only thing that they could see is that the only way that we're making it through it is because those chains, that circumstance is actually a place that we're chained to Christ. We were serving Christ in it. We were not serving the situation. We're not bowing and having a pity party as a result of our bad situation in life, bad circumstance in life. We are using that as an instrument to serve Christ. That is the result of persecution in Paul's mind, was that his result was, the result of his persecution is it was a chain that it was chained to Christ. Now, what if you could visually see that in your bad place of life, that instead of being chained to the diagnosis or chained to this is who you've become because of, financial hardships, health is all over the place, health hardships, marriage, relationships, whatever hardship that you're chained to, that you could actually see that being an instrument of allowing yourself to become closer to Christ and closer to the strength that he provides in the midst of difficult situations. Believers, that's exactly what we can do in the midst of our situation. Instead of becoming chained to whatever it may be, and letting it following us around and dragging it around and letting it be everything that overshadows everything Christ wants to do. Instead, letting it be chained to the Lord Jesus Christ. Can you imagine? When we do that, we allow the glory of God to go through us so powerfully that others completely don't understand why we're in the place that we're in, and yet still rejoicing. And yet still, like Paul did, pray for other people. And yet still influence others for Christ. Because you know what? That is the place where strength is. That is the place where Christ is. When in that hardship, that's where he's at. And he wants us to be chained to him in the worst of places. Isn't that amazing? It's not that we're in bondage to our circumstance, but we're in what? We're in love with Christ, relationally connected to him so powerfully that that's what people see. I think it sounds fantastic. You, my friend, have a blessed day.